Hello everybody, I'm Tanya Bro. Welcome to my channel over here on YouTube. And today I'm going to talk to you about 2 steps you need to do in order to have a better wealth. These are just ideas. I hope you like it. So let's start first with the mind. Most of the people who acquire good amount of wealth, if you explore, if you start researching about them, you're going to find out that the way they think is very, very different to the common people that don't have as much wealth as they do. Okay, so there's a very specific way that millionaires, people who have a lot of wealth, think. And if you start looking and researching, you're going to find out that they have these things in common. So it's important that if you're thinking about becoming wealthy, that you also follow those steps. What do I mean by that? The way they think. They don't see money the same way a regular person will do. They actually see it from a very analytical point, and they also find meaning into what they do in their living. So when I'm talking about meaning, is that they find things that they are passionate about. They find things that they can do, that they can get money from those abilities, those habits they do. So that's the first thing. You have to get that brain into that specific, and you have to be very focused. So whatever is the area that you want to go into, you want to make sure you master your craft, you actually learn as much possible into that, and also follow videos, do a lot of reading that motivates, that actually inspire you to be positive, to be actually very into learning how the money works. So that's very important. And also you can do affirmations every day. You can do meditation, whatever you need, just to make sure that you actually train your subconscious to think about money. Why did I say that? Because if you don't have the the best way to think about money, like if you are negative about money won't come to you. A lot of people may think, okay, yes, wondering, thinking, and no, but it's the actual, that's actual, and there have been many research that shows that you can actually attract things or reject. Let's put an example. Let's say you have the possibility to get a loan from a bank, and if you don't have the right training about money, you may get the money and spend it on things that actually don't give you any passive income. So that's first, like the training. Second, you may think, oh no, I'm not getting any kind of debt, because you may think about debt being a bad thing instead of being a positive thing that can make you grow financially. So that's when I say negative. It's not that we don't want money, it's just that we don't have the right thinking about it. That's like a barrier between us and the money. And also, like, let's say you receive this opportunity, you may be anxious, you may be like afraid of receiving money. So it's important that you get this brain into the right mindset in order to acquire wealth. Okay, millionaires are not afraid of big amounts, because the more they grow, the easier for them is to manage that money. And if you don't have that training, you may get money and that money will go away because you don't know how to retain that money, how to maintain it with yourself, how to make it grow, how to invest so that that money keeps growing. So that's why it's so important to train, not just from affirmation, but also how the money works, and so that your actions can actually be more productive. If your mindset about money is the right one, your actions will follow whatever you're thinking. But if you don't think that specific way, you may end up being, coming back into having to come to the first steps and then trying and then coming back. So it's that why it's so important. So that's the first thing. The second thing is just basically all the things that require some actions from us. So we can put it training ourselves as action number one. So that's like the thinking. And then we move into the other part, which is actually actions. We can say like, in order to build some wealth, you need to start showing that you actually want to build some wealth by saving money. Anytime you want to get for instance, a mortgage loan, they will ask you for a down payment. So it's important to actually show the creditors that you actually want to acquire something. Or let's say you want to start investing in the stock market, you still need to have some basic money so you can start playing around until you feel what works. So you need some basic money. Let's say you want to start a business. Well, you need some basic money in order to pay the rent of a location and then buying some equipment and so forth. So money is always a factor. You need to have some basic money in order to start any sort of business. A lot of us may think, oh, well, if I do YouTube, yes, but you still have to do some advertising at first if you are planning to grow your channel faster than if you are just beginning and then have to start from whatever the luck gives you. So that's why it's so important. Money will help. That doesn't mean you can not build any kind of wealth without money, but money is obviously like a piece of gold that you want to have in order to start your journey. You need to have some basic money in there. And also for any emergencies that you may have in life, it's also good to have a resource, a backup on that. Ways to save money. Well, you can get more source of income, find a second job, but make sure that second job don't put you to work in a way that you end up having less money after your second job. Make sure that second job is actually helping you produce more money, save more money. So that's very important. And also, you want to make sure you cut your expenses. A lot of time we just overspend on stuff that we don't actually need that much. So cut your expenses can actually help you maintain more money with you instead of giving it away, because you are putting effort to make this income. So you want to make sure you keep it with you so that you can make it grow. Okay. So obviously avoid overspending. Changing your habits can also help. Let's say you like to eat outside too much. Well, maybe changing that habit of maybe eating just once a week or once every 2 weeks and so forth. So at first you may have to do some small sacrifices, but it will pay off as you go. And obviously whenever you build your wealth, then you can actually enjoy all those things that you may have a hard time doing right now. While you're waiting on your training and all that, it's also important to start thinking about credit score, making sure that your numbers are right. So whenever you have a good credit score and a stable job for more than 1 year, you can start going into banks, and I recommend that you always go at least twice a year. So to see if you qualify for any sort of loan. So the way loans work is a way to build wealth for the future, because it's very hard to actually pile a lot of money just by saving. Especially we don't have like a very high pay income. So you want to make sure that you use this advantage tool, which is borrow money from the banks so that you can build your wealth. Obviously, at the time you borrow some money, you want to make sure you put it into the right assets, into the right things. You don't want to get a very high loan to purchase a vehicle. You don't want to get a loan for a vacation trip. So you want to make sure that money actually goes into something that something tangible that you can sell, that you can make money out of it. So that's so important. And also that asset that you can build from borrowing money, it's something that can give you passive income. So anytime you're thinking about investment, you want to make sure you are thinking about the numbers, passive income. Like you put certain amount of money, okay, whatever that vending machine, that house, how much money that is going to give to me, okay? So to build your credit score, you want to make sure that you pay all your expenses, paid on time. If you have credit cards, they are very good for building credit score, but you want to make sure you manage it correctly. Don't overspend. Make sure you pay it on time, and it will grow. And then, so once you have some money saved, the first thing you want to do, just to give you a little bit sketch on these, you want to make sure that you have at least one property where you can live and maybe rent the other spaces around your house, or at least you have something. So instead of paying rent to somebody, you can actually pay mortgage and build some wealth. You're putting money into something that is going to be yours. And if you have a mortgage, maybe paying a little bit extra into that. But if you're a little bit more savvy, you can do it two ways. Like you can put more money into your house so you owe less, and also you can ask for a HELOC. So a HELOC is basically a mortgage over your property, so you can purchase a second one. Okay. And at the same time, if you're thinking about your second home, a lot of times we may think about, other big house that costs a lot of money. And if you don't qualify for that, maybe you can think about something that is cheaper, like a trailer or like a mobile house that are less expensive, and you can still rent for a good amount of money. And at the same time, you can also, instead of doing that, you can buy an apartment and then rent it out. And you may not get the same amount of income sometimes that you may get in a house, but still you can start building. The important thing is to start building. Whatever your situation is, whatever you're starting, you want to make sure that you keep building on it. Don't try to go all the way high. Obviously, if you can, you can try, but if you have limitation in order to, like the amount of money you can get from a bank to borrow, instead of thinking about that in kind of difficult, impossible, long time to get that, maybe you can get something that is right there, just in front of you. Just get it, rent it, and so forth. And don't try to find the perfect house, the perfect investment, the perfect anything. Just want to make sure you do the step, that you actually find something. And obviously at the same time, you want to make sure you do your numbers, make sure everything matches and is right to what you want. Always the numbers is the most important thing for any investor. If the numbers make sense, then that means you're doing a good investment. Besides how the house looks and the aspects and all that, it's just the numbers most of the time. So that's it. So those are the steps. They're very simple, but if you do it over a period of time, you are going to end up figuring that you can actually acquire wealth, but getting the right mindset, the right training, so you know what to do with the money. And then at the same time, you can start doing actions that require you to, obviously, don't overspend, save, and also ask always for banks if you can borrow any type of money, so that you can start doing your first investments, like using passive income. Okay. If you actually go into research, you're going to find out that millionaires ask for loans to purchase properties. Even those are like millionaires, like a lot of money, they borrow from others, because there's always going to be someone that has more money. And obviously you don't want to like spend the little amount of money you have when you can actually borrow more money and make it grow. Like instead of buying one property, if you can acquire like a 300,000 debt, well, instead of purchasing one, you can purchase 2 or 3 depending on what you buy, and then you have more source of passive income. That's why it's a good debt used quite a lot to build wealth. Okay, I hope you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, give like to this video, and see you next time. Bye bye. Well,
y si ya todo se ha olvidado y ya no vuelves a mi lado, y el pasado solo queda en el ayer, me quedaré sola pensando lo que pudo haber pasado. Y si ya final. Y si te vas, no sé el por qué. Si mi amor te di todo sin condición. Y si te vas, no sé el por qué. Si mi amor te di todo sin condición. Todo huele a final. Todo huele